him, you know, Jimmy.
He likes him and he likes the sun on his back and he's had a haircut for the big job this afternoon, Peter.
Well, it wouldn't match yours, Jim.
Yeah.
3 gone, 1 to go. Let's climb the mountain again, eh? Come on. Quarter by quarter, ball by ball. A game of footy's like building a house, isn't it? Brick by brick.
I could rant and rave. But I realised today that I'm coaching a shit football team.
Carl Logan. All right, we're back for another episode of the Bring Your Boots podcast. We're about 2 hours from Perth in Tin Dog territory. What's the go with the Tin Dog territory? Do you boys know?
Well, it's an old story of back in the days when they settled here. They used to crack cans of basically like dog food, but anyway, they used to eat it out of tins and chuck it in the creek, so they just called it Tin Dog.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, great story.
All right, yeah, so come down there here. I've changed my, don't know if you call it a process or something, but effectively I can't really be bothered heading out every single weekend away from the family and stuff like that. So trying to come out to do this a little bit more of the training sort of side of things. I was butchering those kicks tonight.
You weren't alone. Shrek butchered a few too.
It's so frustrating missing those tiny little things. I haven't trained. I haven't played anything. I played one game here at the start of the year for Royals against Mount Barker, and then my last game before that was one round in 2020. And you're just seeing the footy and you're just trying to grab it and you can't do it. Fuck, it's annoying. But at the Dowerin Footy Club I guess it's not a studio. I don't know what it'd be. Club rooms. We've got Wes Hagboom and Sloan King. Thanks for coming in, boys. I appreciate your time. I know it's a Tuesday night. You probably got stuff on first thing in the morning, but we're here to crank out a podcast.
Yeah, welcome. No, good to have you.
Yeah.
And we'll sign you up any day.
Mate, I don't know if you boys have listened before, but I usually do a dim sim review on the way in or try and find like the best coffee on the way in, and I was pressed for time today. I had to get out of Perth. It was just a bloody nightmare and all that traffic and that, so I didn't have any time. But if I was to get a dim sim on the way in, where do you reckon I should stop? What if you had to go back to Perth? What sort of operation are you stopping at?
Well, I'd hate to admit it, but Gamelling do a good at Dunning's Roadhouse. Actually, Dunning's are a great sponsor of the Mortlock, so I'll pump them as well. And what's the lot?
Lot 39 would be the coffee joint, I'd say.
Lot 39 would be the best coffee shop. Or actually, what's down our main street? They do pretty good coffee.
Yeah, they do too. Yeah, the Dingo's Diner.
Dingo Diner.
Dingo Diner.
In the main street.
In the main street.
And what, that Dunning's in Goomalling, that's the one right on that corner there?
No, that's the BP,
okay.
Actually.
Yeah, you'd have to shoot more towards the northern turn-off, and I reckon you'd get yourself, a Bay Marie full of whatever you wanted.
And what time do they shut?
Never.
Yeah, they're probably shut now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I got tea in the car for you too. I bought that for you.
Oh, mate, let's crank it out.
Marry me chicken.
Mate, I kid you not. That's what I've cooked the missus tonight. And
Have you?
I'm not joking, mate.
That
Marry me
is unreal.
chicken. Mate, here we go. We're on board.
I said to the missus, well, we're not going to get a feed anywhere, so I better bring a feed in. So it might be a little bit cold now, but it'll be all right. We got some marry me chicken in the car we can eat after the podcast.
Perfect. Mate, I've got some. The only other thing I got in the car is like these little Superman like fruit roll up things that I got the kids when I dumped them off at my sister's house before I got here.
We got plenty of cookies here.
Got plenty of cookies.
Yeah,
mate, that's what that Dazza reckons. He goes, oh, sweet, they're not doing any food, but I might just take a box of these for my dinner.
3 flavours.
Yeah.
There they go.
Yeah.
All right. Mate, yeah, so it's a beautiful drive in, mate. Like I said to you before, this is my first time coming out this way. I'm usually straight up or through to Kalgoorlie, but, mate, it is a beautiful drive out here, isn't it? Like, do people come out here to this sort of area, Darren, and all that, like on a Sunday, like a beautiful like autumn Sunday or something like that? Is it a touristy type drive or is that stop at like the hills?
No, it's a pretty good touristy drive. They call it the Wheat Belt Way, and you sort of come through Dowerin and then you drive up through to is it Nungarran up to Muckenbooden and places like that. Muckenbooden's got some beautiful big rocks up there that are worth a shot to look at too. So yeah, it's actually pretty scenic, especially this time of year. A bit of rain around it.
Oh, it was a beautiful drive. And there's one hill on the way in, like as I was coming here on the right, it's like looked like almost like quartz or like a massive like quarry hill. Just beautiful, mate. But all right, so there's more little stuff out of the way. I try and do, if I come here for a game, I try and do it like a ham sandwich and a coffee review. So the only review I can do here is an emu egg, mate, and the emu egg's beautiful.
Yeah, nice and cold, aren't they?
Hard to do a cross section on the emu though. We did a little cut with the knife. I don't think we'd get too far through one.
Beautiful, mate. We'll get through here and do our best, mate. So both of you, I'll start with you, Shrek. Dowerin local.
Dowerin local, yep.
Born and bred?
Born and bred, yep. Went to school...
At Janding, Buddy Franklin territory.
Buddy Franklin, yeah. Went to school with Buddy in Janding and then shifted to Dowerin after that and then away for ag school and then back to Dowerin ever since, yeah.
What town?
Janding. It's not really a town.
Janding.
Janding, so... Well, what is it, 15, 20 k's north of here. There's just basically a CBH, a siding, couple of houses and a school. There would have been years 1 to 6 or 7, maybe 13 kids.
Yeah, and
good crew though.
2 of Australia's most elite footy players then.
Yeah, a couple of the best, yep. Definitely one of them.
I don't
Not
feel
me.
like I'm dumb at all, mate, but I've seen some signs for towns on the way out here, and I've never heard of those towns before in my life.
No, it's hard. It's hard. It's You drive. Well, I drive through towns and I still don't. I look at the name and go, I've never even been here in my life, and I live in WA. And you go down south and you think, what is this place? What's this? Yeah.
And so has all your footy been here then?
Pretty much. All mainly for Dowerin, and then when I went away to ag school, played a couple of years over there. Just did something different in the Avon League. So it's pretty young and fresh there.
And then Wes, what about yourself, mate? You born and bred here?
Yeah. Yep.
And then all your footy here?
I did more or less similar to Shrek. I did 2 years over in the Avon League with Cunderton, and I've played here ever since.
And then is number 7 up here? Is that your old boy and yourself? Is it or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he played here as well.
Yep. No, fair few of my uncles and that have all played here. Yeah.
Because I see the Hagboom name is everywhere. Like, how many of us is there?
Yeah, there's a fair few. Like, I think all my uncles and my grandfather all played over 250 games for the club, every one of them. So, yeah, they've been around a bit.
How many you got in here now?
How many?
Yeah, how many games have you played here?
Over 300. Yeah, I played my 300th a couple of years ago.
Shrek?
I couldn't even pin it down. 230, maybe.
Yeah.
Can't,
Had a
mate.
couple of years off. No, I've had a few injury years.
Oh, okay.
A couple of broken legs in that.
2 broken legs, a broken arm, a few ribs.
Far out.
You have to be lucky to clock up the games.
Yeah.
Mate, one broken leg, I reckon that'd be me almost. But I guess if you live here and footy's going on every single weekend, it'd be really hard to drag yourself away from the club.
Yeah, Well, one of them, I had a rod in my leg and we won the flag that year. So I had the rod put in and came back and was lucky enough. And then, when was the last one, Wes? A couple of years ago with about a minute to go in a casserole tea night that we were talking about before. And missed the casserole. Ambulance, Wes chaired me off. And
I thought actually that day I'd carried Shrek off on his last game.
Yeah.
When he got on the stretcher and I got to lift the stretcher, but he come back.
And just with that, mate, starting to do this podcast and looking around some social media and stuff like that, mate. Some clubs can't even update Play HQ, but then there's clubs like Dowerin, and I believe it's your missus, is it Lou?
Yeah, Lou.
Your wife, Lou. She has controls of the social media stuff, but stuff like that, casserole dinner, those videos just make it look like your club is absolutely flying. Like, how much effort does Lou and the club put into the social media side of things?
Yeah, Lou puts in a big job, and she's sort of the brains of the organisation, and she sends me in as the guinea pig and just says, go see if the boys will do this. And I'm like going, I don't think that's going to work. Like the casserole team, like going, I come home after a day's seating and went, no, this is a rubbish idea. I do not want to do this. And I go, and she said, come on. And I said, okay. So I sat there and stirred the bloody stove and I said, I'll see what the boys want to do. And we come in here and they go, oh, yeah, yep, righto, yep. Oh, can I do mine again? I'm going, righto, boys, okay. I've just made a fool out of me. This isn't going to work. But no, they loved it. And you're right. It does make it look like a place is happening. And hopefully it builds for the future because guys go, Dowerin Footy Club, yeah, I know you guys. Yeah. I want to play with you because you guys are having fun. And that's what we aim to do. Well,
it's exactly what happened for me tonight, even out at training. Like I was recognising blokes that were kicking the footy based on their dishes that they offered up on the casserole dinner, mate. So it definitely...
Curry sausages kicked to me.
Yeah. That's what it was like. I was looking for Pad Thai the whole time because I knew Pad Thai was talking shit. There was no way. I looked at that bloke.
Cooked it?
Nah. I looked at that bloke and I knew. I was like, he's not a Pad Thai top operator, this fella. He looks like 2-minute noodles. Did the bowl of 2-minute noodles come through?
I don't think it did. He talked a big game, didn't he? He's the
sure
coach of the Rezzies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he I can't even remember what he dished up. Probably something better than 2 minute
Yeah,
noodles.
he probably upstepped it.
Yeah.
I told him to bring it because I thought it would have been funny, but yeah.
And then with that, how is the... I want to talk about the town as well, but like, how is the club going at the moment, Shrek, in terms of like your numbers and your buy-in and stuff like that? What's like the main challenges that Dowerin Footy Club faces?
I think numbers wise, I think we've been pretty lucky this year. We sort of we've got a good group that come from Perth, like coaches in Perth for the league side. The Resi side's pretty well full of us older blokes and then a heap of young guys who have come back from school or at school and come back on a weekend. I think straight after COVID was a bit tricky, trying to land those few guys who, you know, you step away from something for a year or two and it makes it really, really hard to go, I'm just going to go back out and travel for an hour and a half every Saturday or Sunday when you've had that weekend at home around a fire and a roast or something going. But this year, I think we've got the numbers, and like you say about the casserole tea videos and things like that, people once things start feeling alive, everything feels alive. So blokes get a training tonight. There wasn't that many, but bit unlucky. Maybe Wes put a bit of a mocker on it with the early message. Yeah. But yeah, we'd get 30 during some of the late pre-seasons. We'd have 30 or 30 over 30 on the track, and I think it's been good, really.
And most of your players like in town based off like agriculture? Is there any other industries in town, or is it all just agricultural and farm type stuff?
I'd say, well, primarily ag, because there are other farmers, farm workers, or guys who may be doing a trade in town. Obviously, a few of the guys up the work camp came down tonight. Like they get a gig, they can come out for their few hours of rec. I don't know, is it both nights for the week?
Both nights and game days?
Yeah, yep. But yeah, primarily ag. Like all the boys who hang around are off a farm or work in town with ag as a background sort of thing.
Yeah, it seemed like that, mate. You can see like everyone's natural fitness out there tonight. Like there was no
farm fit. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, sort of like that. And just to go back with that social media stuff, you'll see like I just take these videos. You know that like live feature on like when you take a phone, it's like live, whatever. I do these little reels on Instagram. You watch it tonight. Will look like footy training was buzzing because when you put it up on social media and whatever, you'll see. To be fair, my wife does it all, but you'll see it actually it'll look like training was buzzing and flying and stuff like that. And I think, clubs like yourself, Muck and Boodin's real good. Narrogin Hawks are real good. Like the clubs with really good social media makes it seem like there's 60 blokes at training every night and 200 people at the clubs afterwards and stuff like that. So, I guess shout out to your missus, mate. I'm sure she puts in a massive effort.
Yeah.
Right. We, I want to get into the footy side of things here with it. I guess we'll start with this year, Wes. I had a look at the results, obviously, sort of not quite middle of the road. You're sort of down the bottom, but some games seem a lot more competitive than others. Like, where's the footy club at this year?
We've been pretty unlucky. Oh, not unlucky, but it's a very even league. So you have a couple of results not go your way. Like we've had close games and we just not quite got over the line. So, I mean, what do we have? Two or three games we've lost by less than a kick, and so like you win those, we're nearly second spot of the ladder if we win those games. Whether we've lost those games, and then I guess your confidence drops. Game on the weekend was Tuja, who's we're fighting for down the bottom type thing. It looks like, and we didn't get over the line there. So and a few injuries, but yeah, they're giving a good effort, but yeah, we just didn't get over the line on those close games, which really cost you.
And sure, what that score on the scoreboard, was that from the weekend?
That was a couple of weeks ago, I think. And that's, it wasn't a fair representation of the game. I think they were down by 2 goals at three-quarter time.
Mate, who's on the scoreboard? A bit of a hiding. Get that off the scoreboard.
It's hard. The kids do their bit, and then I'm pretty sure they get told they got to get out of there, and no one's meant to touch the rest of it. But yeah, I think we need to sharpen that up a bit and at least drop the visitors' score when you go down like that. Yeah, that was a bit of that's like what Wes said, a bit of an unfortunate game. And I think we've got quite a good list in the A grade.
What would your expectation be then to go through the rest of the year? What would be your expectation of where the league side should finish up?
You go.
Well, I reckon they're a top 4 side, and the comp's that even where I'd push them, so just make the top 4. And like, we've had experience enough that just make top 4. A top 4 is not like a top 8 in the AFL. If you're in the bottom half, you got no chance in a top 8. But in a top 4, you're well in the hunt.
Yeah.
And we're not professional footballers. You get to play the first week of finals, have a week off if you win, and then you get a good run through to the grand final. So I tell the boys, just aim for the top 4 and then just attack it from there. So they can still do that now. We've had close losses that are away. We're going to move into a few more home games in the second half of the season. So I see the boys finishing strong and still good on track to make that 4th spot.
So this year then, who would be on top of the ladder? Was it Goomalling on top of the ladder at the moment? Like, are they the team to beat in your opinion, Shrek?
They're the team. Yeah, they would be, I'd say. I think they sort of set a bit of a benchmark. Like they're also a pretty big town. They've got lots of young local blokes. They're kind of what we want to emulate our footy on a bit. They are.
Sorry, we're just trying. I'll just shout. Hey, sorry lads. I'd hate to be a pain in the ass. Just tiny little quiet. No, shut up. Sorry, boys. It's just a smidgen loud.
Just got a few rowdy ones left in here.
I feel like a sook for saying that. I felt it for like 10 minutes. I didn't want to say anything. Like they're obviously on top for a reason, but it's that even. Like Wes said, I think like they're beatable. We were 2 goals off them at three-quarter time, and a couple of goals either way, and you don't know what can happen. Like we match up well against most sides, I think, with the young blokes we've got, and yeah, it's hard for us to judge. We're playing a couple of hours earlier, but
we always
from what we can
quarter
see,
too, don't we?
Yeah, you got to have a share in things and do all the bloody right things. But yeah, that Goomalling benchmark. There's a couple other sides that have got some potential, and I think Darren's one of them to really mix it. You just, like Wes said, you need to be there at the right point of the season. Which a couple more wins and you're right in the mix.
Well, when I was going through the we just had a camera die, but when I was going through like the results on Wikipedia, there was no like one club that's ever gone on like a massive run recently, like maybe 2 or 3, but there's no 5, 6s, nothing like that. Like, and it's not like one on, one off, one on. Like there was a real even spread. Like you guys have probably been a little bit of the leaders. I think 2012, 2021 are your last 2 flags. Is that right?
2013 as well.
12, 13 and then 21.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Rezzies went on a bit of a run there, I think when I was president, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
They had 3 in a row. There's no team that ever really tears it to shreds for a long time. The last time that would have happened would have been Goomalling through the 90s, I reckon.
Yeah.
There was one in the 90s of like
it was like
6
91,
or
92,
so.
93.
Yeah.
And that's been good because like a lot of clubs over the years have tried to even up with the point system and to make sure every team doesn't fail or there isn't one big successful team, but we've never had to do that in the Mortlock because there's never been anyone with that big a run that we've thought, well, we've got to give everyone a chance because you never know what you're going to get every year from the Mortlock because it's that even.
Yep.
And when I looked at it, your point system, you guys are a fair way off on your points. Do you have many travellers or is it predominantly locals?
It's probably 50-50 in the league.
Yep.
But a lot of ex-locals come up, so they're one-pointers or guys that have stuck around for a fair while.
Yeah.
So
That'd be the same as Queriting. Like Queriting have a lot of one-pointers, but like I spoke to you just prior, I think some fellas come out of that metro system and start playing country footy for the first time and think, this is that good. Like, why would I leave? You know what I mean? So initially they can't come out for money, but they stay for the love. Like, and that's why I was wondering, like, how many you keep, like, how many are travelling from the metro all the time for you? Because, it seems like again, I'm yet to go to a bad footy club, mate. Like, I'm sure you have your nemesis and stuff like that within the league, but man, footy clubs is such a good place to be.
Yeah, and we're so lucky in the Mortlock that I would not say there's a real bad club with bad culture. They're all real even, and I'd recommend playing for any Mortlock side because they're all good blokes.
Yeah.
What about the strength of the league? You're in C grade this year. Is that where you usually are? You float between C and B or 3 and 2?
I don't. We've been Mortlock's country week sides. We probably haven't got the representation that we probably should have had over the last few years. I'll be surprised if we don't win C grade and back in B grade the year after. I reckon Mortlock will put one of their best sides for the last 5 years up this year.
It's always the hardest thing, hey, to get your best available.
Yeah.
Because everyone looks at that weekend like, for me, like I'm from the Great Southern, so I love it when the Great Southern do good, and it's, to be fair, it's bloody easy to say when you're not playing, everyone should be playing. But then when you're in the middle of a season, your body's sore, you got 1 weekend off, you got commitments outside of footy and stuff like that, family, whatever. Like, I've got a missus that wants to go on a holiday and she's sick of spending every weekend in the rain at the footy. Like, it is hard, but that country week footy, it's one of the best. So I was wondering how you could, because it seems like from afar, and I've never come out here, but I feel like you always think this league is just full of stars.
Yeah.
So.
No, we'll have a good team this year.
Yeah.
We've got a few ex-Waffle players heading down for a kick, so it'll be good.
Hopefully this camera comes back online here, boys.
We need to get a bit of Wes.
Yeah. You need to get.
Voices,
we got your face. That's the
you
main
need
thing.
to get off my head, mate. And the camera's on a shit angle as well. All right, we're back here. Let me just touch this up.
Oh.
But what about the town itself? Like, Dowerin has a fallen victim to sort of where I'm from, like the Tamblups sort of area, Cranbrooks, everything like that. Like, used to be multiple families within a town, and then families are selling up, leaving, and then like one family buys multiple farms, and then it goes from 5 families to 1. Is that what's been happening here in Dowerin?
Yeah, that's a fair call, I'd say. The bigger boys are always getting bigger. There's smaller farms around, but that's sort of what is happening, and I think it sort of reflects a bit on the town itself as well. Like, the smaller businesses probably struggle a bit because of lots of reasons. There's less people around to use them up. It's a bit tricky. I think, like our main street, it's a bit of a struggle at times trying to fill all the buildings. Just, it used to be, every one of them was open. You had a hardware, you had a boiler making shop, you had a bakery, you had a bloody candlestick makery. It was, now it's a bit, this is open, that's open, we don't know who's buying that. But it's certainly thinned out. Population would have thinned out a lot. The school's thriving though.
Yeah, the school. That's probably where we sit at the moment. Our school is probably one of the best schools around, and we still go to year 10, so we're still getting a good high school and a good successful primary school with great teachers, which is good backbone to the town at the moment. We just need to find the right people to come in and buy the businesses to make the town thrive, which it could be just around the corner. You never know what industry could move.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it a district school here then? Is that why?
Yeah,
is that why it's
district
so
high.
separate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What area would that pull from? Like Goomalling, they come here. Like
Yeah, we get a few from Goomalling, Wildcatcham.
Yep. Canoe court, like the kids
Canoe
coming.
Quarter, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So there'd be some long bus trips for some
Yeah.
kids, an hour and a half
Yeah.
to
Right.
come, but
Yeah.
I guess an hour and a half on the bus, and they're not having to travel all the way for year 9 or year 8 or whenever
Yeah.
everyone goes away. But yeah.
Then what about you within the Mortlock League, like the Colt system? Then do you get those kids that play Colts here? How does that work?
So that's where we really struggle with the Mortlock. We miss out the age groups from 13 to 15 because Nippers plays on the same day, which is under 13. So unless you're a big 15-year-old, you can play B grade.
Yeah.
So we sort of, but there is, so if they don't play with more like B grade or Nippers, they've got to go to Northern and play. That's about their only option, or they sit out and for a couple of years and come to trainings with the seniors, and that's as good as they get. It's either that or travel to Northern, yeah. So it's pretty hard for those years.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Like we got to play Colts when we were here.
Yeah,
But
we played
yeah.
under 15 Colts, and that would have been
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably.
It does seem like,
Showing our age.
unbeknown to me, I assumed everyone had like a Colt system and stuff like that, but they don't. Like even you would think. Like I just was up in the North Pilbara Footy League and did one with the Karratha Cats. Like I assumed Karratha, those clubs would have a Colt system,
Yep.
but they have the area has like an under 19s or under 18 system, but it's got nothing to do with the footy clubs. They're like it's like Auskick almost goes to under 18s, and those kids aren't, unless they're like really good and they can play league. They just like they travel alternate weekends. Like it's they're. You effectively you leave school and you've had nothing to do with a local footy club, and that's not shocking, but I was mind blown when I heard that. I just would have thought like you'd want the kids in from 15 at least. Like,
Yeah.
so would something like that? Is there anything in the pipeline to change that for the Mortlock?
I guess for 15-year-olds and over, that's where our B grade system's pretty good. Like we look after those with different coloured shorts and things like that. So
Okay.
the 15-year-olds are pretty safe playing in our B grade comp. But it's just that 13 to 14, which 2 years out of footy isn't great. I mean, I guess Northam's a 45-minute drive for us, which isn't too bad, but you go like Wongan's the same, but then you go to your Dallies and all your central wheat belt. It's a fair drive, so I don't know. It's sort of hard because for that age group, we might have 10 that want to play footy, which is not a team in the whole area, let alone that. So it's very hard for 13, 14-year-olds playing footy.
Especially in terms of like growing or developing it. Like you need a team. Not for the 10 kids that are already wanting to play it, so they suck their mates in. Like, so, you know, like, what are you doing? Like, come down to footy and stuff like that. But, you know, like, because I think peer pressure is a beautiful thing. You dragging kids off the couch or from whatever else they're doing. If their mates are playing footy, like, mum and dad's going, well, if Tommy's playing footy, so are you, mate. So get your boots, let's go. Like, hard when you don't have that.
I know that's... when we go to the peer pressure, that's what's the beauty of country sport, isn't it? Because you go to your B grade level and old mate's sitting there on his ass doing nothing. It's like, mate, we needed a footballer, see? You got to play.
You're going to be a footballer this weekend.
I don't care whether you used to play lacrosse back somewhere else, but you're a footballer now because you live in the country.
Yep.
You've moved. You're in the age bracket. You play. Whether if they live in a city or a big town, they can go hide. Whether out here, you don't hide.
We've had some people who they didn't even hide. They said, okay, yep, and then they've got absolutely no idea how to play football, but they make the team, and when they get in there and have the crack, you're just laughing away. And it's the same, I remember in our Colts when we were playing, like there was kids who had absolutely no idea. They were like, no, I'm not playing footy. Like, well, we need you. We've got 17, we need 18.
Yeah.
And they'd come along and you're like, no one cares. They're like, all right, wicked, they're out there. We've got a team. This is great.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing in terms of like the community. Like, you need that so you can play footy.
Yeah.
So like, you don't care if he's shit. Like it's like,
Yeah.
well, if these 3 kids don't rock up, we don't play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and it goes for the same with the men. It's sort of, yeah, not to go too deep, but almost like I travelled heaps for my work and places where I chose to go to work. One of the main things I looked at was the footy club.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not going to somewhere that doesn't play footy or
Yeah.
it's too hard. Like the last place I worked was Derby, and I didn't play any footy there because it's every second week it's 240 k's to Broome.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then some teams in Broome refuse to play on the Derby Oval, so then like you
Wouldn't
go
travel.
like, three weeks in a row, you'd be travelling to Broome, and it's hot as hell. Like, luckily I was in the twilight there, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, I think country footy clubs, not just for stuff like me, but like teachers, like might not even be like the female teacher that rocks up. She might not like footy, but her husband's here, so that might factor into why they even choose to come here.
Yeah.
Like and so, yeah, I guess one of the things that I'll love to highlight through this podcast is how important clubs like Dowerin are to entire communities, because I play footy at like Nyabing Footy Club.
Yep.
Nyabing folded,
Yep.
then that's almost the
Yeah.
whole town folds.
Yeah.
Then, you know, these have to keep coming. And I guess, like, Wes, you were speaking about it, like if you want to go through, what other teams play on the same days as the footy team?
So when we rock up on a Sunday in the Mortlock Footy League, it's always Auskick first. So Auskick, then they'll run over to play the Minky hockey.
Minky, yeah.
And so and then they'll go on and play netball. And then the next age group, they'll be playing,
That's
they'll
so
play
good.
football, and they'll run over to hockey, and they'll play netball. And then us B graders will start during the junior hockey, and then the senior hockey will roll in, then the senior netball. So everyone, all the kids can play 3 sports in a day.
And there's a lot that
The wives can play 2 sports in a day, and the men can play 1 game and drink beers. So no,
Perfect.
everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And so if like Dowerin weren't able to put a footy team out in the park, does all that fail?
I think it goes a long way. I mean, we had Wildcatcham up the road who went on for a few years with no footy side, and it just eventually just sort of slowly led to nothing. And that's generally the same scenario. Like, and you go, I'm pretty sure, like out the Central Wheat Belt, they justify getting a footy side because that keeps their netball and hockey going, because that just gets people involved, and the football grows everything around the community.
So everything's based from, like, say, when I was at like Nyabing and the other clubs, everything's based off the footy fixture. So it's really hard to, if your footy team's not playing, well, all the men are going to the footy team, so then sort of the families follow that.
Yep.
So it's hard to fixture in anything else. So yeah, I'm not sure people, like, I know there's people that get paid to play footy, stuff like that, but like my little brother, he'll be listening, he's dog shit, but he wasn't financially remunerated because of his footy skills. It's because of numbers.
Yeah.
And so if he wasn't coming out, or not just him, not him at all, he was all right. A few statless games, but he's all right. But everybody needs the footy clubs in these countries so everything else works and everything else flows on. Because, yeah, like I said, Nyabing, and I'm sure there's a host of other towns that when the footy team folds, nothing happens in town. And talk about you guys would have been around for the merger then, the Waikato merger, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I was probably both
I think,
heavily
yeah,
involved with that, weren't we? We were
President.
both on the committee.
Yeah. Yep.
Would, like, I guess if you're from Waikato, like, would not they'd be too proud, but like, was that a hard step for them to swallow that and then merge, like, or was that a pretty seamless merger?
It was pretty good. They because they went without a footy side altogether for a year. Year or 2?
It was
Definitely a year.
Yeah, could have been 2 years.
Yeah,
And-
they did a lot of hard yards.
Yeah.
like not winning a game for a fair bit before they decided before they just folded and said it was too hard, and then they went without a footy side for a year, and
We
And they-
ended up with a lot of their young blokes who came to training. So I don't think it was a hard decision for them or for us to go, oh, well, we've got 10 or it was 10. I think it was roughly 10, 8 to 10 the first year who were playing league footy.
Yep.
And yeah, well, they came this way. It was hard. I think it's hard on the town because I don't think they had a junior side still at the time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So they still had their nippers playing in the same league, which you think of fixturing and everything else. But
Just a juggle.
Yeah, because they still had when we first merged, they still had a hockey.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
They still had everything else besides a senior side. So they merged the senior side in the football, but then which it sort of worked because we always had a bye in the Mortlock fixture. So
Yeah.
that was sort of like when Wiley...
That's when they played.
They
could play hockey
their hockey
and
and netball
yeah,
and stuff
do
on
the
that
other stuff,
fixture.
And what happened to them? Why did they fold?
They more or less just numbers game. They'll
Just a victim of what we spoke about before.
And when you lose numbers, well, you can keep going by paying out players and like just keep trying to buy guys to fill a side. And yeah, they just got too much for them.
And they're a bit further east, so they're more like the Central Wheat Belt. Like everyone sort of east of here has a one team town. That's it. They've got just an I don't know what they call it. They've got one team. That's it. No reserves. And I think Wiley, they had a league team and no reserves.
Yeah.
For a couple of years there, didn't they? So that also, I think it's just a numbers game for them. They've got bigger farmers. They've got 10, 12,000 hectare guys out there. So you got no people in town. It makes it pretty hard to put two footy teams on the park.
And so how far is it from here?
20 minutes?
Yeah, not that far.
Okay, so it's not too far.
No.
And then it's with that, I love farming. I've got no idea about any of it, but is it like the broadacre farming is all like the headers and all that sort of stuff? Has that reduced like the amount of people you need to work on a farm?
Yeah, everything's... You're probably better at it.
Oh, yeah, it has. Like,
He the big dog in town, is he? Or what?
No.
He works for the big dog.
Oh, okay.
Josh McMurrin is the big dog in town, isn't he?
No, it's easy.
Shrek runs
Don't know about running,
The swamp.
I don't know about running things.
he runs the
Just
swamp
seen
out
an
there.
old injury to Josh in round one. No, everything's like bigger. Like you got big headers that one header will take off like a whole farm from the 80s.
Yeah.
Like bang, and then done. And you only need one person to drive that on a day shift, whereas bloody take 10 horses to do that 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all relative to what's happening, I think.
Yeah.
And it's the same everywhere. It's not just ag. It's everywhere. You got bricklayers who've got robots laying houses now, like Chat GTP doing your write-ups for footy, hey Wes?
Ease up. I still got to put a bit into them.
I actually get a heap of people like hitting me up asking about like, yeah, it's probably similar to me. In particular, my father-in-law, Big Peter Sheridan, mate, he loves the farmer side of things. So, what's the yields, I guess, or what's the farming been like out here in the last few seasons?
We've and probably due to innovations in farming, the last couple of years have been pretty good. Last year probably the rainfall wasn't there, but just the innovations of farming, we pulled off a good year last year, which probably back in the 90s they would have barely got a crop.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty good the last couple of years, really. But
yeah. I think there's more of a median, more of a like that. The gap is narrowed between the bigs and the smalls now. It's more of a science. It's more of a it's a structured thing. So it makes it a little easier to hit the target, I think.
And what would the industry be here in the Mortlock? Is it crop? Is it sheep? Like what's sort of the
sheep are done.
Sheep are done?
Nah.
Not fully done. Labor
Sheep
didn't
are
help
just
with that.
hanging in there.
Yeah, keep the sheep.
Yeah, tried to.
We did a pretty hard on the keep the sheep in Dowerin here, but we sort of went to the polls and we got shot down pretty hard with keep the sheep.
Shoot the sheep.
Shoot the sheep.
Anyway.
But nah, cropping's
Cropping's king.
everything here now. Yeah.
Mate, back to the footy. I'm not sure who updates the Wikipedia page for like the Mortlock footy, but it's easily the most detailed out of all the country footy leagues that I've seen. So I was able to actually do a little bit of research into it. Before I sort of, from statistically, from what I could see, who would you guys think is like the GOAT of the footy club? Like who's the sort of the best footy player that's played here?
There's a couple.
In what?
Dowerin Footy Club.
Oh, Dowerin Footy
Yeah,
Club.
yeah. Who's sort of like, you know, it feels like a poster boy, poster man for the footy club. Who would you reckon it is?
You'd toss a coin. The 80s were pretty solid football, which Chris Lee was probably the GOAT in the 80s. And
Just look for a few names up here.
we had, and that was a few good footballers in the 80s.
There was.
The poor old 80s boys, they underachieved. They played in a lot of grand finals and didn't win them. And sort of the 2000s, we did all right. And Dean Truella was, he won
3. I've got him. That's what I've got it in. Dean Truella, 3 Boakman medals, 11, 12 and 13.
Yeah.
It's a fair run.
Yeah.
Five or six, best and fairest.
Yeah, we looked after him pretty well, but didn't we, Shrek?
We did. He's a good fella though, Dino, and he was one of those guys you spoke about before who came from Perth and never played footy after he left here.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
He loved the club, was at every event.
How'd he
had
go
a
back?
great time.
Yeah.
Hated going back. It was a Saturday game. He wasn't going back. The other one, probably, I'd say David Wilson.
Yeah.
A local boy. He went to Perth for a
Yeah,
year
he
or
did
two and
did a year at Perth,
also
a year
won
or
a
two,
few best
yeah.
and fairest. I don't know if he won a Boakman. Played full forward. They'd be in the top couple of our era, I think.
Is Wilson is a local name? I've seen a Dean Wilson up on the board. Is that a relative as well?
There was 4 brothers that played here.
Yep.
Yeah. So they were their dad, and they had a farm just east of town. So yeah.
And what about now? Like, who would be, you know, your marquee type player, Dowerin? Like, I love that state country footy program. And when I watch a game, I do a little thing like the state country types, I call it. Like, obviously, you can't be dragging a player from every single team into it. But is there anyone that has been like a state country type, or could throw their hat in the ring at least from the club this year?
We've got a big age gap in our team at the moment. So the older boys, like, that are sort of travelling up at the moment, they're real good footballers. Like, we've got Dill Burgess that plays footy for us. He's won a couple of Boakman medals.
Did he play for another team?
2J.
Yeah, okay.
We don't talk about that.
Okay, I've seen his name somewhere else. I'll end on your list. I thought.
No, he come from 2J. He's a good footballer for 2J too. So.
Yeah, can play footy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then, have you guys represented the Mortlock much at Nutrien Footy or Landmark Footy Carnival?
You did a lot in Colts. Did you do senior?
Yeah, I was Colts captain one year, I think. I don't know how successful we were because a few of our coaching staff led us astray a few times, I think, or we led ourselves astray at that age. Would have done, I don't know, half a dozen years of Colts and then into the league side for Nutrien. Wes would be similar, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't like to talk about myself like that.
Well, it's a podcast. It'd be pretty weird if you don't talk about it.
You might have made the All-Star team at one point, did you?
I went down as an old dog and
got himself a jumper.
Got an All-Star jumper, yeah.
Nice.
Well, if you don't mind.
Maybe he's the guy you were talking about before. It's Wes Hagboom. Put his name in lights.
It was, played in the back pocket and cracked the All-Stars. It was quite good. I sort of played on a few of the big All-Star names and we had a few wins and won the grand final, so they must have stuck me in there somewhere on the All-Stars.
Yeah, right. And what's it like here? Like, how good's the club post-game? Like, do you have a lot of all your regulars that stick around? Like, is it a big night, like, with given the Oz kick, the netball, Hinkies? What do you call the hockey? Minkies? Like, is, you know, how
Minkies,
how good is the club going? Like for you afterward games and stuff like that, is it plenty going on?
I think there's enough events. Like the event nights are obviously like the casserole tea and those ones, or we'll have a bogan bingo or whatever, like a different event on. That gets the younger crew going, and if we have a Saturday game, it's heaps easier. Probably the ones who are playing the Hinkies and the Oz kick and that.
Maybe they're not on the sauce.
No, they're definitely not on the sauce. By that time of the day, most of them are pretty ready to get home and ready for school. But there's always food. Like, it's an easy place to go and get a burger and chips or whatever the cantina got on, and you can have a couple of quick beers and head on home. But I'd say, it's pretty well. We have our awards every night after a game. And
Yeah, they're well attended.
Yeah.
Everyone hangs around generally for awards, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mate, Wes, we spoke about it before, but it's the infrastructure here based off that Nationals royalties for regions thing. Like, it's the oval is beautiful. It is tabletop flat. Like, is that all as a result of that Dowerin Field Days and the royalties for regions for the area? Like, obviously the club rooms are Mickey Mouse, ice bath. Mate, I don't know how
Did
many...
you get in?
No, I love ice baths, mate. I've seen the sign for it, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's many country clubs around that would have an ice bath set up like that. So, yeah, talk about, like, in terms of your facilities and stuff like that, is this a reflection of all the other teams in the Mortlock, or do you guys have sort of the best infrastructure?
Well, us and Gamelling have got the best probably pavilions. They probably claim it, but no, and they're all based on royalties for regions and funding from that era. Klingery got developed at the same time.
Daley's got new Wongans. Like, everyone's I think have done their thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll claim ours is right up there though.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got excellent facilities.
Yeah, we've got some good ovals in the Mortlock too. Like Wongan Hills is like a bowling green, and we play because we play finals at Wongan Hills and Gamelling every year because it's just the way that they're central. They got the best ovals. We got the Dowerin Field Days, so that rules us out.
Yeah, because it's no good that time of the year.
Our oval gets hammered right before finals, so we sort of rule ourselves out. Dally have a show, and Gingin's like the wettest spot in the state.
Yeah, if you don't get rain in Gingin when you play them there, you've done something wrong.
So they're pretty wet that time of year. So we just all the clubs agreed to go to Wongan and Gamelling.
Yeah,
because they've just got the best ovals. And
who looks after the ovals then? Is it like local council?
Council, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's not because Tom Lee fancies himself as a bit of an operator in that area. I was wondering, has he had much to do with the club at all?
No. We've tried to get him here,
he's done
haven't we?
nothing for Dowerin.
He's telling me he's coming back. He's
going to.
He talks a lot, Tom Lee.
Whatever episode it was, quoting, have a listen. He said, "I'm trying to get a game this year at Dowerin." That's what he said.
That's what his name's
by the
up
time
here.
he'll have to come for a game of twos by the time he comes back here, I reckon.
That'd be nice. It'd be nice to see him kick around here.
He wouldn't get to go on the forward line, but would he?
No, I think we'd have to put him down back for all the talk that Tommy's been.
Earn your stripes, mate. Come back through the B grade.
Tiger stripes too.
That's right, mate.
Stripes,
That's how we operate around here. Is his so the Lee family? You said the bar's named after his old man.
Yeah.
What's Tom's dad's name?
Chris.
So Chris Lee, he's the man from the 80s, obviously, that you're talking about.
Great footballer.
Chris got much to do with the club, like when I was talking about like the after the games and stuff like that. Do you keep a lot of your past players around, or is it sort of a little bit of only the current crop?
Yeah, well Tom's dad actually passed away a few years ago. He was quite young.
Yeah.
So, but most of the past players, what did we?
We've still got a good crowd.
We've got a few. Yeah.
So the whole community sort of comes.
I think most of the past like life members and that.
Yeah.
I love it. You run out and they're sitting in the chairs out there. Like you got your Les Howard and your whoever else. I remember all our years, and we'd always have those older guys who their names up everywhere here, and you'd run past them and they'd be, "Oh yeah, how you going? How's your Sunday?" Which we still get all the time. It's awesome.
And that's the beauty of country footy is they're all around.
Yep. And even the ones that didn't play footy, they're here every week. There's some that just come in here for the footy.
What would be moving forward then for the Dowerin Footy Club? Like, obviously your lights could do with a bit of a lick up, but is there...
Don't blame your skills on them. No.
Oh, mate. Like I said,
I hope we don't get good lights because...
Here it is.
I don't think you missed a goal, though.
No, mate.
I blame those lights on my skills every training at the moment.
Wes blames them during the daytime.
Yeah.
But is there like a if you could pick one thing that the Dowerin Footy Club needs moving forward, or, mate, I don't know if there's like a business plan or anything like that, but what's something moving forward that the Dowerin Footy Club needs to make sure they continue to prosper?
Well, I think we need Buddy Franklin to come back and play a game for Dowerin.
He's getting a house.
And then that pay, I reckon the ticket sales through the gate will pay for our lights. So that might be our next big campaign on Facebook and Instagram is to get Buddy Franklin back to Dowerin this year.
Yeah, bring a buddy with Buddy. That'd be good.
Yeah, bring a buddy.
It's been a while.
Mate, what about surely we can get the Carlton draft to sort something out?
Yeah. Yep.
Surely. We'll put them on the gate. Buddy comes in, the lights. They'll be happening.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, no, it's actually...
I reckon
it's
we'll get it
doable.
roll. This podcast will get it started.
Could do.
Mate,
I'm not going anywhere near those Denver
All right.
boys again.
All 8 people that listen to this, make sure you message in the Carlton draft and see if we can get the big man back. But obviously, yeah, Buddy, he's not had much to do with the footy club or anything like that. But yeah, so would the main thing moving forward, you reckon, be those lights? Because I don't want to bag, but they're atrocious.
Yeah, they're low.
Yep.
Makes it hard.
They are terrible.
I don't want to blame them for any of my skills or any of our skills, but yeah, they're low.
That's the first thing, I think.
I think if that was...
Like, I don't think night game's the way to go in this league because we don't need them to that level, but we need good training lights because it just, like, a game like tonight, if you had to sit out there and watch a night game, it's too bloody cold.
Yeah, no, you need to have warm
But you genuinely could see. I was saying,
I want to be in the bar quicker than a night game.
when I was in the line, I would genuinely say to someone, "Who's that?" And they wait for them to get into the light before they could tell me who their teammate was.
Picking up on the silhouette. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there's their shadow. Yeah, that's such and such. Yeah. Yeah. That's Johnny.
It looks like it might be. Wait. And then they run into the light and they're like, that's Shrek. And I'm
There he
like,
is.
Shrek.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, the lights are... That would be the one thing, I think.
And what about the league itself? Is there... is the league itself gone strong? Is there anything that the league, you reckon, that moving forward, is it more numbers? Is it umpires? Like, is there anything that moving forward that the league sort of you think would benefit the league moving forward?
Oh, good question. I'll get hammered if I answer this wrong.
Get it right, Wes, as soon as you're part of the Mortlock League.
The league is probably more people sticking their hand up to be directors, and so we just get more different people's ideas from different angles to improve the league because we've actually got a good bunch of directors at the moment and they're doing a very good job. We've got a good operations manager. Everything's ticking along. We've just gone to most of our B grades paid umpires, and they're all doing a good job. All our umpires doing a good job in the league. As far as the league, they're rolling along pretty good. Where they run a pretty good ship.
I don't have as much to do with the league stuff as what Wes does, but I can see it everywhere else with a few of the other boards and things that I'm on that you want that continuity and people coming on to go, I'm going to put my hand up and jump on there. Like I know Wes did it pretty young, jumping on the Mortlock Footy League, and I think you need just those couple of little bits and bobs in between to go, I actually want to make a difference or I want to do that. But I'd say the league's ticking along beautifully. Like I know a lot of the people who are on there and they're great footy people and love footy. But yeah, you're always wanting that other younger person or someone who's got a bit of an outside view to just put their hand up.
Well, it's a fine line, mate, because you need someone willing to put their hand up, but you also need someone willing to step down. And
yeah,
it's a little bit of an issue. I don't know about this league in particular, and I don't want to. I'm from the Great Southern, but I feel like in the Great Southern, it's been the same people for the last 20 years, and even if you look at their social media as a district or whatever, stuff like that, it could be improved. It could be anything like, I don't know if anyone's listening, but jumping like Muckenbooten, Dowerin, Narrogin, Karratha Cats, like all these clubs, their social media's like fun to watch. You know what I mean? It's not just like some crap like bullshit that one result of the weekend, thanks mate, or anything like that. There's like different ideas and little bits and pieces that pop up, and it makes you want to engage. It makes you look like, if you were looking at moving to a country town or something like that, like it's as dumb as it sounds, mate. You could look at like the Dowerin Footy Club's Instagram and go, fuck, I could work in Dowerin.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours away. Yeah. Like there's a teaching spot come up. There's a nursing spot, a coppers spot or something like that. Like they look all right. Like I like casseroles. Like it's as dumb as that sounds. That's how it works.
No, it's just a bit of spark, isn't it? And it's right there in your face.
Yep.
But it's the first thing you do when you get online. You search something, and if something goes, that looks great, you move with it. But if
I get people like I got family or my partner's family all over Australia, and I'll be on the phone and they'll go, checked out this on the Dowerin Footy page the other day. Like, oh, how cool is that? And how cool is this stuff that's popping up? I can't get enough of it. And you go, yeah, well, that's someone driving that. And that's what I'm saying about the Mortlock. You get the right people to come on board and it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think if more clubs and stuff like that could pick that sort of stuff up, like it'd be amazing how good the benefit is. Like even this podcast, like I think we're getting about 1,000 listeners or something like that at the moment, and hopefully that continues to improve. But like I'm here because of Instagram.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I'm in Dowerin. Like I've dumped the kids off at my sister's house, raced out of Perth, come here, like, and it's based off like effectively your missus. I threw the thing out there. Because I want to try and come to trainings instead of using up every one of my weekends. But it's Instagram is why I'm here. So then hopefully people listen to this podcast and then they're like, mate, Dowerin seems like a wicked place. Or like, I might just pop out to a game or something like that. And then the other thing is with this podcast, my very first episode that I spoke about, one of the goals I have in doing this podcast is showing like what a good country football career is like. Like I said, I get a little bit annoyed. Like someone could be average-ish in a league, but go and play a handful of waffle resis games and they're assumed to be a better player than someone who's had 200 games of footy at a country club and a few Ferris and Best, and it's just simply not the case. So that is what initially I wanted to do with the podcast, is highlight how good country footy players are and put a bigger emphasis on a really good country career. But then what stemmed from that is maybe stuff like your Mrs. Lou, like her effort, like who's acknowledging that. Like, but there's a Lou at every club. There's a director in every league. Like, yeah, if I can try and throw these mics around and highlight how good, like the more, like you just said, mate, all the directors at the league and stuff like that. Like, it's so easy to be forgotten. And yeah, I guess I just want people to out in these country leagues to know that mate, it's not just me. Like I message heaps of lads in my little group chats. Like I'm going out to Dowerin and they're like, oh, I know this, I know that, or I've seen this. Like all these things matter, and yeah, I think country footy matters is effectively what I want to get across.
Yeah. And it goes beyond footy. Like I think a lot of people in the city don't realise how much country life actually matters.
Yeah.
And that's what I found when I sort of got on board the keep the sheep things a lot. And when we drove through the city, you actually got a few waves, and there's the ones that know we do need yous. It's good to hear.
Mate, I tell you, I've always had this thing. People in the city work their entire lives to save up enough money to move to the country. Like, it's like, and nothing's more indicative than that than the drive out here. Like, you guys would know it better than me, but I'm sure 10 years ago, like, the beautiful properties would have stopped like maybe 50, 60 Ks prior, but on the move out, like what I spoke to you before, was the manicured driveways, the lovely fences, like they're extending a long way out, hey. So people are aware of a good country life, and yeah, even the Dean Truellas of the world and stuff like that. And like I spoke about Queriting, like I think their midfields come out and they realise how good it is to live out here.
Yeah.
Beautiful town, mate. But all right, I reckon that's us, boys. That's an hour.
Good job. That was easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, mate. Yeah. Oh, mate, it's
no curveballs. I'm pretty happy about that one.
Nah, what curveballs are you waiting for? I can hit you up with something.
Didn't even get to talk about your great career, Shrek.
Not mine. We don't need to talk about my career.
Highlight. Give me one highlight.
Ooh. I have.
You have to hang your hat on one achievement. What is it?
An achievement, or can it be anything?
Anything.
Anything? Probably the mates I've made playing footy. I reckon the crew that I've played with, like I've won a few flags and
bit of head wobble there.
No. I was just thinking about it was more of a head nod.
Yeah.
Saying, like I think it's the guys you play with and the memories you make. Like we got a reunion this year and I'm over the moon, looking forward to it. Going, geez, that was 20 years ago.
What flag's that then? 05.
05, yeah.
20-year reunion, 05. The big Dean Truella rocking up for it or what?
No, he started in 08.
Too late, is he?
He missed the first one.
Yeah. His grand final started in 08, didn't they?
They did. That's footy, is rocking up every week, giving someone a high five. pushing them around in the warm up and going, hey, what are we doing later on? And
And
it's magic.
And you finished with your great career.
Oh, man, that's about all. Like, there's nothing more to talk about my career. Kicked 2 goals on the weekend. Jeez, I think that's a PB.
Yeah.
But no, I guess you're exactly right, mate. Like, everyone always talks about like, oh, footy. I love my footy club, but it's no one loves like running as hard as you can down a wing and taking a mark. Like that's not what you love. It's everything around it. Like
100%.
what's happening before the game, what's happening after it. Like if something stupid happens in the game, like I remember I used to lick my lip. I'm like, he's fucked.
We're going to feed on that for the week.
As soon as we get back into the change room, or like if someone just misses a mark, you're annoyed out there, but you're like, yes.
That's in there.
Yeah. But that's what these footy clubs are about, eh? And could you imagine, like, what would Darren be without a footy club?
I can't imagine it.
No. That makes me feel pretty hollow, really.
I remember the COVID year, and there was no footy. Yeah, you had to do what you had to do in that year, but there was just not like you're like, oh.
I just wipe out so much of my life. If he said what was Darren about a footy club, I'd go, oh, wait up. I don't know whether when I left school whether I'd be here. Like there's So
yeah,
that's 25 years. Just I don't know where I'd be. Yeah.
Well, like I said, it just highlights like, but that's like for you individually. Whereas like, what would your life be without a footy club? But that goes for you, Shrek. But then as a community, as a business, like the servos, all of that, like footy clubs are the lifeblood of these communities, and hopefully this shitty little podcast can highlight that, and more people leave the Perth metro area and want to get out and play footy, or even if they're not playing footy. And I don't know what you'd be doing if you randomly come across this podcast, but if you did and you want to have a kick, like. Yeah, my thing is to bring your boots. Is when I was travelling around, like, oh, you're new to town, like, oh, hey, do you have a kick? Oh, come down, bring your boots, like all that sort of shit. So, here we are, mate. That's I don't know what episode we're up to, but that's the Dowerin, a little bit of the Dowerin Footy Club. We'll be back. We'll always be back, and really appreciate your boys' time. I know it's what is it, 9:20 now, and Tuesday night you're probably on the Cedars tomorrow. What are we on tomorrow? What's the current operation?
Up and early.
Seeding, harvesting, what are we doing?
Halfway to seeding. Seeding and ripping at the moment. So,
and what about this rain? Do you need this rain, or have you had enough?
100%. No. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
Keep the sheep, keep the rain.
When you wake up in the morning in Perth and you whinge about the weather, just go, please go out to Dowerin, because we'll take every drop.
Oh, you boys are never happy.
That is true.
A few Toyotas in the car park. Let me give you the tip.
I walked.
All right. Thanks, boys. Really appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.
Let's get into that Merrimere chicken. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.